to writing a check is to fill in your date. All right? The date is the one area where I'm very flexible. All right? You can write your date however you are comfortable. You can use 2 digits for the month, or you may use 1. All right? You may use whatever digits are required for the day. All right? So if it's March 1st, you can just put 3-1 if you wanted to. You may also use only 2 digits for the year. All right? Or you can do it as it appears here. Okay? You may also use dashes instead of backward slashes. All right? You may do that. All right? You may completely write it out as March 26, 2014. However, I don't advise you to do that because it's not as fast, all right, as just writing the numbers, all right? But I'm very flexible there. Just make sure you have month, day, and year, okay? The second step is to write out your payee. Now, payee is just a fancy way of saying who is receiving the check, okay? In this particular example, we're going to be writing a check to a company by the name of The Sandwich Shop. Now, please note that we start all the way over to the left with a capital letter. Okay? Capital letter. The Sandwich Shop. Right? We don't have enormous gaps between the and after the word sandwich. Okay? And we draw what's called a safety line all the way down to the $sign. That prohibits anybody from doing the following. Comma, John Doe. The reason why we don't want someone doing that is John Doe, who never was the original recipient of the check, could say, oh, I'm an employee of the sandwich shop. So that's why they had the sandwich shop comma in my name. If you have the safety line, it prohibits somebody from doing so. Okay? So, capital letter all the way over to the left, the sandwich shop, safety line all the way to the end. Okay? That is step number 1. Step number 2 is to write your numerical amounts in the box provided. Okay? Now, all the way over to the left, right at the beginning of the box, nice and big. Do you have to make your 8 to fill the entire box? No. But you do want to make sure it's an ample size. Right? Remember, all your checks are going to be scanned and available online, so they have to be legible in that manner. All right? So make it nice and big. The decimal point for your cents, you want to make sure that's nice and clear. You don't want a faint little rinky-dink little point because someone could make that a comma. Okay? So you want to make that nice and bold for your cents, and your cents should be large. Okay? Sometimes people do this. They will put a little 1 and a little 5 up here. Do not do that. Okay? That's very old school. You want to make sure that they're nice and big because, again, they're going to be scanned. Okay? And then right after that 5, I want that safety line. So nobody can make this a comma and now make this an $8,150 check. Okay? So you want to make sure you have your safety line. So safety line, that's the second one you see. That's safety line 2. Okay? Be extraordinarily careful that you put that dollar amount all the way over to the left. How far to the left? Here's my steadfast rule. If I can fit a 1 in here, and this person even left space before the 9, if I can fit a 1 in there, I'm going to mark you wrong. Okay? Make sure your 8 is over far enough so no one can fit a 1 in there. Okay? Want to make sure that those checks are super, super safe. Safety line, and if I can fit something in there, you're going to be wrong. Okay? Okay. Here's step 3. I think we as ordinary people, our eyes immediately go to the numerical dollar amount box to see what the check is worth. Actually, bank personnel, actually their eyes are trained to go here. So in this written section is incredibly important, okay? Notice all the way over to the left, beginning with a capital letter. So please start this with the capital letter, a capital E, okay? Also note, there is only one "and" in this descriptor. It's right before the sense. You only want "and" right before the sense. That prompts the reader to know that this is happening, that you're about to describe the sense. Also notice that the cents are written as a fraction over 100, okay? So it's 15 over 100, all right? Notice it's 15 over 100 here. Here's some things also. Please do not write the word dollars. You don't need to. It's already here. Time. Everything's speed here when you're writing checks, okay? So you don't need to write the word $8 and 15 over 100. You don't need to do that. Dollars is already there. Of course, make that safety line. There's your third and final safety line on a check. All right? That way nobody can add additional information on there. Okay? Common mistakes, not starting with a capital letter. Another common mistake is writing the check and making it too long. All right, so they go on 2 lines. You must fit this all in 1 line. Okay. As far as the "and" is concerned, here's a hint. You can use an "and" symbol. Now I'm terrible at writing "and" symbols, so I just use this. So if I realize I'm running short on space, I will use this "and" symbol right before the sentence. Some of you guys do this. Okay, that's also acceptable. Some of you that are far better than me do an "and" symbol like that. All of that is acceptable. That's just a way to save a couple character spaces, okay, if you need it. But always eyeball the check before you start writing it to make sure you know the proper size so you can fit it all in 1 check, okay? All in 1 line. All right, lastly, you need to sign your check, okay? The moment you sign it, you've officially written this amount over to somebody, okay? Notice that this name corresponds with the name of the person on the checking account. So let's say that your name is Jonathan Doe, but you opened your checking account with John Doe. You have to sign John Doe, all right? If your name is Kelsey, but you go by Kelly, you're going to have to decide now what name you go with, all right? I encourage you to pick your legal name. Even if you don't like it, that's your legal name that's going to be on all future documents, college applications, loan applications, etc. Please make sure that this name corresponds with your legal name and that your signature matches. Okay? So you have to pick a name. As far as your signature is in cursive. No other place on this check should be in cursive. Cursive letters are too difficult to forge. All right? As far as signatures go, anyone hear this expression? Signatures are meant to be recognized, not read. All right? So, do you have to write things perfect and be able to recognize every letter like John Doe has here? No. In fact, my signature is quite strange, but I can do it consistently every single time. That's the signature that I have. Okay? So, you can use whatever signature you want. It's now time to start thinking in that manner and start developing your own signature. My advice to you, make it fast. Make it consistent, okay? So whatever signature you have, make sure you can do it quickly, all right? And you can do it consistently every single time, okay? All right. As far as the memo is concerned, this is an optional section. And I happen to think it's underused, all right? It is helpful for 2 people. Number 1, the person receiving the check to know what the check is for, but it's also a good reminder for you. Because remember, you see these images of your written checks online. So it's a very helpful reminder to you what this check was for. Here's an example of how it's helpful for the recipient. If you're writing a check to Time Warner